Hello, everyone. Welcome to Market Simulation Kickoff Call for Summer 2021 release. My name is Anshuman Vaidya. I'm your Market Simulation Coordinator, and today is April 22nd. Calls and webinars are recorded for stakeholder convenience, allowing those who are unable to attend to listen to the recordings after the meetings. The recordings are publicly available on the ISO webpage for a limited time following the meetings. The recordings and any related transcriptions should not be reprinted without the ISO permission. We have the following agenda today. We'll talk about the ISO market simulation support details regarding the summer release. Then we'll talk about the issue management for market simulation summer release. We'll talk about the communication plan for summer release, and then map stage availability, and the timings of the connectivity testing, timings related to different market simulation initiatives and timelines, registration details for structured scenarios. Then we'll cover each initiative separately. Then we'll take a look at the overview of the market simulation for summer 2021. Then we'll discuss some of the interface changes and then the next steps. So ISO market simulation support Monday to Friday is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can always call on our 24/7 service desk. The number is shown on the slide here. And please email at marketsim@kaiso.com regarding any queries related to market simulation. Any questions regarding the support details? All right, moving on. Please make sure when you're writing CD tickets regarding any of the functionalities, please choose Market Simulation Summer 2021 as your functional environment so that we can route it quickly to our SMEs with this environment getting selected. Regarding the communication plan, we have the following schedule for Market Sim calls. This is showing starting from April 26th. And it goes till end of May, around 27th. The web conference information have not been changed. It's the same as that you're used to dialing in. Any questions regarding the communication plan? All right, moving on. Let's talk about the map stage availability. You can always log into portalmap.kaiso.com to get up-to-date information regarding that. We have current maintenance for CIRA, UI, and API that started on 21st of April and goes till 28th. Other than that, we don't have any scheduled maintenance. Anyone has any questions regarding the maintenance? All right, moving on. We're planning to have connectivity testing for summer 2021 release from starting this Monday till 10th of May. That's a 2-week window from this Monday. Here's the initiatives timelines for summer 2021 release.
May I ask a question?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute. I had to unmute 2 places. This is Alvis Svoboda at PG&E. During connectivity testing, are we able to examine what the ISO has in the master file for our resources?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
You do need to submit the registration resources. So if anything is missing, please let us know and send us the details of the resources that are not there that you want to test with, and we'll make sure we'll add those resources to the master file.
Great. So we can do that check at the beginning of your connectivity testing. Very good.
Definitely.
Thank you.
And while you're registering, please send us the list of resources you plan to use so that we can load the map stage environment up front with those resources.
Great. Thank you.
And just
sorry.
Go ahead, Alva.
Well, I was just going to ask, do we also there was some concern about whether we would know what the what RA month you were using. Would we also be able to see that in that initial period?
So let me touch on that. Our team is planning to load supply plans for May and June. And as soon as the CEDA environment is up and these data is loaded, we'll communicate that in our MarketSim calls, and you can verify those plans after logging in.
Great, thank you. And I'm sorry I interrupted there. Please.
Yeah,
sure,
no, Albert, that's a great question. So just to back up, a point of clarification about connectivity testing as it relates as well is there's a couple of different considerations. One, I think the question was about registration and the master file data setup. And so Anshuman's response as far as, sending in what changes you need and us implementing those, the master file data in MapStage, you'll be able to verify that in the existing interfaces. Now, the new interface changes that we expect summer for master file in the MapStage environment will not be available by 4/26. So one of the later slides in the presentation does put the master file interface date, availability date in MapStage as TBD at this point. We had planned to have the new interface changes available by the 26th for connectivity of that new interface, and that is not at this time going to be available on the 26th. Although the data changes may be set up depending on when you registered, and when those are processed, the new master file changes for the interface will not be there on Monday. Okay, so just wanted to. Mm-hmm.
And does that mean we can use email to check if we want to say what values you've got stored and so forth?
Well, so again, depending on the data, the interfaces will be available, meaning the UI, the API for master file and MapStage will be available. We don't have a search planned at this time, but the new changes that we're implementing as part of summer release, those new changes won't be there. So you'll still be able to access master file and see the data in there as usual. It's just if you're looking for the new attributes or services, those won't be available yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Alva, and thank you, Trang, for the update. Okay, so let's continue. We have 3 projects in summer release for order number 831, Resource Adequacy Enhancements Track 1, and Summer 2021 Readiness. We're planning the dates for structured simulation on 25, 26, and 27 for quarter 831. May 11th and May 13th for Resource Adequacy Enhancement Track 1, and 18th and 20th for Summer 2021 Readiness. Now, being said that, I also wanted to mention here that we are planning to stagger these testing for Resource Adequacy Enhancement Track 1 and Summer Readiness 2021. So the testing might extend beyond these dates that I've mentioned here. Anyone has any questions regarding that?
Yes, hi, Anshuman. This is Chunyu. I do have a question. Can I ask you to expand this table? It's helpful. Can you expand this table also including starting from when we can execute the unstructured, given that, the summer RA and the first A31 might have a different start date in terms of when the code will be available for the unstructured testing.
Sure. Let me get back with the team, and then I'll add that information in here.
That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions regarding the structured simulation start dates? All right. You can find all this information in the market simulation plan at the following link that's shown on the slide. Moving on. So more information regarding the 3 projects that are part of Summer 2021 release. As I mentioned, the structured simulation date for quarter 831 is May 25, 26, 27. We are initially planning on those dates, but I wanted to get an poll or, customer readiness regarding if you want to pull these dates up. Is that something that you would like to consider if we get earlier code delivery for this?
I'm sorry, ask the question again.
Yes. For project first quarter 831, we are currently planning the structured scenarios on May 25th, 26th, and 27th. And I wanted to check with market participants if will that be okay if we can pull these dates up a week?
You mean a week behind or
like
week
doing it
earlier?
Like we'll start testing on it earlier in May 18th, 19th, and 28th days. That's just an option. We just wanted to get customer readiness for it, like if we can do that or not.
This is Josh at PG&E. I would certainly support moving any testing earlier if we can manage it.
Thank you. Anyone opposed?
Especially, yeah, I think I support it as well, especially you having that one, the go live day as the June 15th. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll take that back to my team and we'll see if we can pull those dates up. Now for resource adequacy enhancements track 1, the structured simulation scenarios, the dates are May 11 and May 13. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to stagger the dates. So on May 11th and May 13th, we are going to do the structured simulation for the BOSO scenarios. And we'll stagger the ops storage scenarios 4 and 5 for a later date. And I'll add more details on those dates in the upcoming market sims. For summer 2021 readiness project, the structured scenarios will execute on May 18th and May 20th. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to stagger this project too. And we might test a few of the scenarios at a later date. The business requirements specification documents and structured scenario documents for these 3 projects are listed on the slide here. Anybody has any questions regarding these 3 projects?
Hey, Anshuman, this is Chris Van Vactor with SCE. Do you guys have a settlements calendar for this market sim?
We do.
Okay.
And I was going to pull it up in a couple of slides.
Okay, great. I'll take a look at it.
It is available on the release planning website.
Okay, thanks.
This is Alva at PG&E. I was just going to comment. I thought that some of the summer readiness scenarios required having the bid cap be set to a higher price for the system, which so that also reinforces the moving forward of the final implementation or the testing of the final implementation of FERC Order 831.
Okay. Yes. So let me get back to my team regarding those dates, and I will update you if there are any changes.
Thanks.
Hey, Inchman, can I ask a general question? This is Chunyu from PG&E. So given that the summer 2021 readiness, it won't start until basically for structure until the 18th. So is that really mean that the code will not be ready until the week of the 17th? Or it's going to be the code will be ready on the 10th? I just want to get a general sense whether the code delivery on the CAISO side is going to be delayed.
Right, Chunyu, thank you for your question. Let me just say, can please everybody go back to mute? I'm hearing a few disturbances in between. Thank you. And Chunyu, regarding your question, we do have structured scenarios for resource adequacy enhancements track 1 starting on May 11th and May 13th. So So, I mean, there are scenarios that are happening before May 18th, but we are getting code drops a little earlier than May 18 and May 20, and we're going to utilize that time for our internal testing to make sure that the code is ready for market participants to review it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for, being transparent. So that means I am being asked for those questions. When is the summer 2021 readiness? When we can begin testing? So the answer I have been providing to our SMEs is May 10. So I do want to make sure that we have a consistent message. And if you will not have that ready until the 17th, I'd rather to know that other than mislead people.
That's true. As per the current project deadlines, we won't be able to do any testing before May 18th, but if anything changes, I will put that information here in Markets and Calls, and then so that, everybody knows about it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions that we can talk about here for these projects?
I think I have one more question regarding the master file. I heard what Train provide, and I also heard, so it's basically, I want to get a gauge as to when can our SMEs submit the GRDT changes.
Trang, do you want to take that question?
Hi, Chenyu. So I don't have a specific schedule for that yet. Can I take that and then reach out and provide an update at the next call? I would recommend at this point that if there are changes that you need to just email the master file changes, then to email the MarketSim mailbox at this point, and then we will communicate the availability of the new RDT. As we know, by this point it is TBD.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question. Can you update Trang? Any other questions that we can take here before I move on the slide? All right. So I have a few registration details regarding the projects. The RA announcements track 1 registration, you can send it till April 26th. And for FORCATE 31 and Summer 2021 readiness, you could send the registration till May 6th. If there are any late registration, as always, we'll do our best to accommodate them. Any questions regarding these registration details? All right, moving on. So here's a small overview of what we are looking at our market simulation for Summer 2021 release. It starts from next week. We'll do connectivity testing for 2 weeks. Then we have from 10th of May till 28th of May, we'll have structured scenarios, and the same time we'll utilize for unstructured simulation if a market participant wants to do any testing other than the structured scenarios. Then we have a small snapshot of our settlements calendar. And the things that you want to look at here is we have changed some of the deadlines to submit metadata. It used to be T+3 business days. Now it will be T+2 business days. Since we reduce the time here, we're going to publish the initial statement the day before at T+5 business days. And similarly, there will be T+5 business date for submitting metadata for recalc. And then we'll publish the recalc statement at T+8 business days. Kind of everything is moving one day up. And we do have our market simulation plan and simulation settlements calendar on our release planning website. and the settlement days are Tuesdays and Thursdays. Any questions regarding all these details?
Let me add, Anshuman, to the market sim calendar.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, in addition to what you said, now for submit meter data for initial at T+2, so if there's anyone don't have time to submit meter data for initial, we'll do estimation, and you have time to submit meter data for recalc. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody has any questions regarding the timelines or to what Asad mentioned? All right, moving on. These are the system interface changes for the 3 projects. So I'll give it a minute for everybody to soak this information in, and if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. All right. Any questions? All right, moving on. That's all I had for the summer 2021 release plan right now. The next conference is scheduled on April 26th at 2 p.m., where we'll provide more details regarding the staggering of our market simulation. Any other questions that I can handle here?
I do have one more question. Actually, going back to the previous, I think that I was asking this the other day as well. Is there any, are there any system interface changes? I believe there are some OASIS interface changes connected to the minimum state of charge constraint, according to the tech specs and BRS. And I think the other day somebody was going to look and see whether those needed to be added in there.
Hi, Alva. This is Chang. Thanks for that question. So I do have that item deposited from the, and I know that we covered some of that in the training that the first part of the, I believe we covered some of those items in the training that we had week 2, and so I still have that on that list to address. I'll do that, and then I'll update you as well. Thank you for.
Thank you.
Anshuman,
any other questions?
Hi, Anshuman. This is Chris Van Vactor with SCE. Are you guys tracking settlements changes on this?
Chris, we should be. If is there something that you feel is missing on?
Yeah, aren't there 2 new charge codes for summer readiness for the BCR piece?
For charge codes?
There's 2 new charge codes, right?
Yeah, so typically this is for the changes that requires like tech specs. So you would see a change for the MRIS UI or specifically the API for this. But if it helps to provide the clarity on the charge codes that are changing, we can include that as well.
Well, I mean, it's a new variable, right? So isn't that a change to a technical specification? I don't know. Maybe it's not nuanced. I don't understand. But okay, I mean, that's fine. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, this is Josh over at PG&E. Yeah, they published the BPMs for those 2 charge codes yesterday over on the release planning site.
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering if they put them here too, but it sounds like they don't.
Not usually, because those are BPM changes, not technical changes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris and Josh. Good clarity there.
Perfect. Any other questions that we can discuss here?
Anshuman, this is Aaron at Portland General. I had a question about the spring release that's wrapping up in terms of market simulation.
Go ahead, Aaron.
So Portland's been testing the base schedule under PMIN, and our city tickets are now in a software variant stage. Where's the forum where I track the progress of what will be, I think, a new schedule for, I know, a to be determined date as to when that would be activated in the market model, or whether there'll be further ability to test.
So we're tracking the software variants that you're talking about. We're talking it with our vendor when we can get the fix about it. But Trang, would you know about the activation dates in production for the EIM-based scheduled submission deadline project?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So thanks for the question, Aaron. So as far as that, that functionality in the map stage environment, as you know, once we introduce that functionality, it will remain active for testing, even though we had a market sim end date of tomorrow. That functionality will remain active all along with your city for when that's resolved, when that fixes in map stage. As far as production activation of submission of base schedules below PMIN, as you recall, we had the target of 5/1 activation, and we withdrew that piece from the filing that we made for that included real-time settlement and the overall base schedule submission deadline project. The activation that we're looking at this point is by August 1st, and this is still tentative, pending, our further testing and then our refiling of that piece. But we're looking at 8/1, and the forum to follow is going to be the RUG. We'll continue to report out on that progress and the filing, and then confirm the activation date on the RUG.
Okay. And will my city will I get a heads up through the city ticket when GISA thinks the software variance has been resolved, so that I can continue testing the map stage?
That should be the case, and Anshuman will update you on that. Anshuman, if you want to add anything, please do.
Yes, thanks, Trang. Yeah, as soon as this variance is fixed, we'll update the city tickets so that you can start testing it.
All right. Thank you, Anshuman.
Thank you. Any other questions that we can handle here? We talk about it here. All right. Then thank you, everyone, for joining the call. We'll see you back again on 26th of April, Monday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anshuman.